I'm taking the cheapest flight every day for a week to see where I end up. And to make things interesting, I've set myself 3 challenges to complete along the way. Since I've already been in Dublin once before, we're going to try and do things I've not done before. We're going to start with the oldest university in all of Ireland, and that's Trinity College in Dublin. Now, fun fact, it's not actually the first university in Ireland. That was the medieval University of Dublin, but that closed down centuries ago due to lack of funding, which means now this is the oldest because the original first university doesn't exist anymore. Also, this bell tower that I'm currently walking under has a superstitious meaning to the students that attend the Trinity College, because they don't pass under it as a fear that'll bring bad luck, because when they actually graduate they pass under it, which is quite interesting. We're going to be visiting the library inside the college, which looks incredible. It looks like something else of Harry Potter, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to speak in there because obviously it's a library. It costs €18 to get into this library, but you get to see the Book of Kells exhibition, which is the oldest book in Ireland written on calfskin. Although I don't think there's any cameras allowed in the actual room with the book itself, just in the exhibit, so I'm going to have to put this away. I'll try and get a sneak peek. This room is the largest book room in the entire world. This room alone holds over 200,000 books, although there's like no books in here today. They've all been removed, probably for repairs or something. Is under restoration, which started a year ago and isn't scheduled to be done until 2030. That's how long it takes to get 200,000 books out of a library, restore it all, and then put them back in. It's absolutely mental. €18 for that is a little bit steep. I only paid 15 because I carry my old student card around with me. Luckily, take it everywhere. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Today it did. But if you know an Irish person who studies here, they can get you in for free because they get in for free. Right here we have the Guinness factory, but we're not visiting the Guinness factory today because I've been there already. It's in the last video that I done here. It was actually a really good tour. It lasted quite a while and you get a free Guinness at the end of it. The one bad thing is, at the time, because of COVID, the bit where you actually put your face onto the pint of Guinness itself wasn't open, so I didn't get to do that bit, but the rest of it was really good. I will give you one fun fact about the Guinness factory though. The founder of Guinness was so confident in his drink that he took that factory out on a 9,000-year lease. I think it was like £45 a year at the time. For 9,000 years he signed the contract for. Like, you've got to be so confident in your product to do that. I've decided to come to Phoenix Park because I've got about an hour to kill before we booking at a museum. So I thought I'd come and have a little walk through because there's a chance I could see some deer. A very small chance, because last time I had to ride on a bike. It took me like half an hour to find them because this park is the largest inner city park in all of Europe, so it is huge. The deer could be anywhere, and this time I am walking, so I don't think I'm going to see them, but we're going to go and see the monument and maybe the Ambassador of America's house, because it's like a little mini White House. You know what, I actually suck. I don't know why I do this in the winter. Like, it is so cold, I'm freezing. I've got just a thin layer and a jumper on, and I'm like walking through a park in Ireland. Why did I not do this when it was like spring or summer? I waited until now, worst time of year. It looks like it's gonna start raining and I'm on about 4 hours of sleep. We have another flight tomorrow at 7 AM. Like, it's not even 3 PM yet, and how many steps do you think I've done? I'll give you a clue. It's not less than 20,000. And it's free. It's not even 3 PM, it's 2:30, and I've done 22,000 steps. Like, I am gonna be so fucked after this. Like, I have to be up at 3 AM to go get the bus to the airport. I wasn't gonna stay in a hostel today. I was gonna stay in the airport itself, but I thought I'm gonna be so tired that I could probably sleep at like 9 PM, 10 PM, and then actually get some sleep. I didn't manage to find a deer, and we didn't make it to the American Ambassador's house because it's just too far. The park's massive, and we've got a booking at Kilmartin Gaol, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's the old prison that was used during like the Irish War of Independence and Civil War and stuff like that. So that's where we're gonna be heading right now, so let's go. The Kilmartin jail tour is an eye-opening experience of the British Empire's brutal occupation of Ireland. Built in the late 18th century to replace a much smaller prison, Kilmartin would soon become overcrowded. The overcrowding got so bad that men, women and children would often be squeezed in groups of 5 in cells designed for 1. Now, most of these people were not criminals. They were starving citizens who had been locked up for stealing food. The youngest was just 3 years old, locked up for begging. Now, fast forward to the early 20th century, this prison became a political prison for those arrested opposing the Iron Fist of Britain. During the Easter Uprising in 1916, a few thousand staged a rebellion against British occupation, and those that were arrested were sent to Kilmartin, and 14 leaders were executed. This execution shook Ireland and paved the way for the 1919 revolution, which gained Ireland its independence. I've just finished the Kilmartin jail tour, and honestly, that is one of the best tours I've ever been on. The tour guide we had was called Adam, and honestly, he was so knowledgeable. He knew so much about the prison, and the way he delivered the information, it was like he was acting out the scenes of what happened there. Like, he knew it personally, and it was quite captivating. It kept us all like hooked the entire time. At no point did I think, too much information, this is getting a bit boring. Honestly, if you go and you get Adam, you're so lucky, but I'm sure all the tour guides are very knowledgeable and very good at the job. It's so cheap as well. It only costs like €8. I think I paid €4 because I have my student card, so I was quite lucky there. But even if you're paying adult prices, it's under €10. It lasts an hour, and then you've got the museum after it, which you can spend however long you want. Also, the museum is right next to the art museum, so if you like art too, you can literally just go across the road and you've got an art museum as well. But right now we're headed back into Dublin city centre. We're gonna go and try and find some vegan Irish stew, and then hit the Temple Bar afterwards as the final point of the 3 points of interest. The final stop is the Temple Bar, which is right here behind me. This is the touristy Temple Bar. Technically, this whole street is Temple Bar. Temple Bar is the area, but this is the pub that's named after it, and this is where all the tourists go. Crazy how packed it is in there. There's music on. There's no way I could film in there. I'm not staying in there though. I'm shattered. I'm gonna go back to the hostel and get some sleep because I'm up at 3 AM, maybe 2 AM, to go to the airport to get a plane to the next place. So I've checked in to my hostel. I'm in the bed now. It's not that bad. It's a nice little like boxed in bed with a curtain, light, plug. It's all good. But I'm gonna tell you exactly where we're going tomorrow, because I have to be up at 3 AM for the flight. So the next stop is... I've just left the hostel. It has just gone 3 AM, but I did get a fair few hours sleep, so I'm not feeling that bad right now, except for it being a little bit cold. We've got to go get the bus to get to the airport for 4 AM because our flight is at 6 AM. Luckily, one of the city buses goes to the airport 24/7, and it's like €2.50, so it's not that bad. Let's get to the airport. I've literally just got through security in like under 10 minutes, even with a drug swab on my bag. I wish I'd stayed in bed for the extra half an hour and got here like 90 minutes before my flight, because I've got 2 hours now until my flight with nothing to do. Want it? Thank you. We have landed in Paris, well technically Paris-Roubaix, which is miles away from Paris. About an hour and a half away on the bus, which we're going to go and catch now. I'm starting the morning with a crepe. This is going to be my breakfast. It's got banana inside and a little bit of sugar. This is a French food, so this is what's counting as the French food that I have to eat, because the national dish is a stew, and I feel like that's going to be the case with a lot of countries in Europe. The national food is going to be stew, so anything that's synonymous with like French food is counting with me. Can't go wrong with pancakes. Crepes are always unreal. You can never get a bad crepe. Today is definitely going to suck because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking around Paris, and I don't have a hostel tonight. I'm going to be staying at the airport, I think. So I'm going to be carrying my bag around all day since I've nowhere to put it. And it's starting to rain, my back's starting to ache a little bit. This sucks, but there is the Arc de Triomphe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, I might have butchered it, but that is the first point of interest, and it's going to be easy, the points of interest today, because they're all quite close together. Like the Eiffel Tower is probably only like a 10-15 minute walk from here, and then you've got like the Louvre, you've got the PSG Stadium, you've got loads of points of interest in Paris. Paris is literally going to be just me eating all day, I think, just at cafes and bakeries, eating croissant, flan au chocolat, baguette. Like, it's just, I don't know what the accent was there, but yeah, it's just gonna be me eating like bakery stuff all day. There it is, the Arc de Triomphe. I'm in a tunnel now where you can pay to go under the arch, but it's 13 euros. I'm not doing that. I paid 15 euros yesterday from the library, but I couldn't see that from the outside, whereas I can actually see the Arc de Triomphe from the outside. I don't need to pay to go underneath for 13 euros. Is ridiculous. The Arc de Triomphe was commissioned in 1806 to commemorate those who died during the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, but Napoleon would never see it finished as he died before it was complete in 1836. It was also the largest triumphal arch in the world until 1982. I definitely feel out of place here in Paris. It's just like so like bougie. Like I'm walking around with combats on, Vapor Max, you know, like a waterproof jacket. Everyone else is walking around in like loafers, like nice like dress jackets, like proper pants, and I'm just here, big backpack, combats, trainees. Like, I feel dead out of place. The architecture too is just incredible. It's like the pinnacle of European architecture. You get it in like Spain as well, but it's so much better than English architecture. Right, we're gonna go get a warm, fresh baguette. I've got my French baguette, but half it's sticking out the bag, so I'm gonna have to eat half it right now. It's not warm, unfortunately, but it is freshly baked. It's still soft. That's a solid baguette. Standard baguette, good stuff, nothing fancy. It's such a dull day in Paris. It's been on and off raining all day. Right now it's raining. Let's go find a cafe, get a nice warm cup of tea and get out this weather. It's still raining. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to avoid this rain. It's just constant all day, on and off, and we haven't got that much time. So here is the Eiffel Tower. We are on our way to get as close as we possibly can. I'm not sure how close that's going to be, but we're going to try. Well, we're not going to pay to go up there because the weather is really bad, so we're just going to look at it from down below. What's crazy about the Eiffel Tower is that in the UK we have Blackwell Tower, which is basically the same thing really, but this is like the branded version. This is like your Gucci and your Louis Vuitton, and then we've got like the Primark version in the UK, which is the Blackwell Tower. Anyway, this is the second point of interest that we've seen in Paris. Now it's time to move on to the third and final point of interest. As I'm walking around the Eiffel Tower here, I've just been approached with the bracelet trick, which is where someone comes up to you and they try and make you try on a bracelet, and then they'll be like, oh, it might be free, or just try it on. And then once it's on your wrist, they'll demand the money from you. And sometimes they might just take it off and not do anything, but other times they can threaten you and get violent. So I knew already what was going to happen there, so I just walked straight away. He didn't follow me, which probably shows that he's probably not like a violent one, but yeah, it can happen. We've got the iconic glass pyramids of the Louvre Museum, the big one in the middle and then the two smaller ones either side. You'll see these on pictures everywhere. This is such a bad day to be out in Paris. The rain is just ruining it and it's cold, but here it is. Here's the biggest pyramid out of the three. I have no idea where the entrance to the museum is. Maybe it's there. There are doors. We're just gonna go and see the small pyramids as well whilst we're here. I was mistaken, there's 4 pyramids, not 3. There's another smaller one at the back of the bigger one. I didn't know that. I thought there was only 3, that's all I could see, but there's 4. We're gonna go inside the Louvre and see the world's most famous painting. It's absolutely huge in here. Just look at the size of it underneath this pyramid. I hope you can actually film within the museum, because otherwise I'm gonna be paying like 15 euros for nothing again. I've only got an hour. They told me it closes at 5:30, so we've not got much time. We're gonna just focus on seeing the Mona Lisa because it's the world's most famous painting. The Louvre is home to over 35,000 pieces of artwork, which if you spent a minute on every single piece would take around a month to actually see everything. And I've only got 1 hour, so I'm gonna see barely anything, just a handful. You could easily spend a whole day here. I probably should have came a little bit earlier. I got stuck in the rain a little bit. If you're an EU student and under 26, you get in here for free, which is really good considering it costs 15 euros otherwise. Unfortunately, the UK had Brexit, so I had to pay the 15 euros. Although the Louvre is now a museum, it was once palace, the Louvre Palace, which was home to some of the French royals, but it's also been used as a government building as well in the last few hundred years. Now obviously it is just a museum. There it is. There is the most famous painting in the world, the Mona Lisa. Here we are with the world's most famous picture, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. That's a crazy picture as well. Like, look how huge it is. Imagine how long it will take him to paint that. That's crazy. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you'll know I'm not one for art museums. Like, I'm not a big fan of art, but the building that this art museum is in is incredible. Look at the architecture of this hall. Like, you've got the marble pillars, I think maybe marble arches, I'm not sure, glass roof illuminating the whole hallway. Like, this is incredible. Not gonna lie, the building and the architecture is actually impressing me a lot more than the paintings. The paintings are incredible, but just look at the actual building itself. Out there you've got like a spiral staircase with, look at the sculptures. Obviously that is artwork in itself, but I meant like the paintings. An hour in there is nowhere near enough time. I've only seen like one section. There's 3. There's that one behind me and then there's that one there. I think there's 3. Although, to be fair, I think a lot of it's closed because of restoration, but still, if it's fully open, you could easily spend like 3 hours here maybe, but an hour is nowhere near enough. Now the only thing left to do in Paris is go find some vegan pastries. I'm looking forward to a croissant and some pain au chocolat. Let's see if we can find it. I've got myself a croissant and a cinnamon roll. Couldn't get a pain au chocolat. They weren't vegan, although the reviews did say they were. But this was the closest place to the Louvre and I didn't want to walk around all day. We're gonna break this and see what it's like. That's a good croissant. I think it's got a strawberry flavour. It's good. Fun fact about the croissant, it's not actually French, it's synonymous with France, but it's actually Austrian and it was just adopted by the French, so now everyone thinks it's French, but it's not. I've had an absolute stinker. I was planning on sleeping at the airport, but Paris Bouet is a small airport, so they close at 11:30 and open at 6 a.m, which means now it is gone 6 or gone 7 and I've got nowhere to stay. I'm walking to a hostel now. It's £33 just for the night, and I'm only going to be there for about 5 hours because I have to leave at 3 a.m. It's not ideal, but there's nowhere else that I can go. Checked into the hostel and it cost €40, which is steep, so steep. That's why I wanted to sleep at the airport, because I'm only here for a couple of hours. This is the room. This is the bed. It's alright, like it's got a plug next to it. Anyway, tomorrow we are headed to Cluj-Napoca in Romania. Good morning. Today we are going to Cluj-Napoca in Romania, but first I have to get to the bus stop. It is currently 4:15 in the morning and I have to get this Lime scooter because it's a 30-minute cycle to the bus stop. I've got to get there by 5 a.m, so this is rough. Let's go. It's so cold riding this bike, my hands are freezing. It's 4 a.m, it's so cold, and I'm so like wobbly on this bike as well because it's like the steering's so loose. Luckily though, this bike's like a hybrid bike, so like once I start pedaling, the like electric bike kicks in and does a lot of the work for me, so I should easily get there in the 30 minutes needed to actually get there on time. Right, I've not got much time, but I've took a quick detour because you've got to see the Eiffel Tower lit up at night. It looks so much better at night than in the day with that orange like hue surrounding it. When I planned this trip, I did not expect to be riding a bike at 4 a.m to get to a bus stop for the airport bus. Like, I just did not expect that at all. I've made it in time for the bus, just about. We have landed in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. This is Batiste. I actually met him on the way to the coach station. He actually showed me where to go because I got lost. Didn't realise he was also getting the same flight as me though, and we've been together for the last few hours. We're gonna head in to the city centre now. We need to go get checked into the hostel. I don't think I can actually check in right now, but we're gonna go put our bikes in so I'm not walking around with them all day. This is my room for the night. Got one of these beds. Not sure it matters which one, but this is like an old house. There's no one at the reception. I just like keyed myself in because I've got a code, and then came up here. There's no like lock on the door. Don't need anything for that. I have no idea what bed. I think just any. I'm gonna leave my bag here and we're gonna go get some food. Don't know if we're gonna be getting some authentic Romanian food. I'm just starving. I don't really have that much time to look around. It's already 1 p.m, so we're just gonna head out and see what we can get. Good little thing to know, if you're ever in Cluj-Napoca, the buses are free on a Friday. Every Friday, all the buses and trams are free for everyone. That was quite handy coming from the airport. It's only going to cost a few euros anyway, but even still, getting it free means I can just jump on the bus anytime to get around the city. I'm having to do 30,000 steps again. Cluj-Napoca is actually quite interesting. It's in the Transylvania region of Romania and it's considered the unofficial capital of Transylvania, and Transylvania is where the legend of Dracula comes from. We're in Unionary Square right now and you can see that they're putting up the Christmas markets. You've got a wheel in the background. Obviously we're here a little bit too early for the Christmas market. It would have been nice if we were here and they were open. This behind me is St. Michael's Church. It's a Gothic style church, and Gothic styling is popular throughout Romania, especially in Transylvania. Dracula's fortress is a Gothic fortress. We're gonna go and have a little look in St. Michael's Church, see what it looks like on the inside. This church actually dates back to the 14th century. It was first approved to be built in like the 1300s, but wasn't complete until the middle of the 1400s. It took over 100 years. Being Romania's second largest church, it is one of Romania's national monuments, and it has always played a very important role in Transylvania's history, as it was where King Matthias of Hungary was baptized, and he is known as one of the most powerful kings in Hungary's history. It is also where the decision was made for Transylvania to join in the Holy League War against the Ottoman Empire. We've ordered a soup, which is a bear's soup. This is a traditional soup in Romania. It usually has the stomach lining of cattle in it. Beef tripe it's called. Obviously this is a vegan version, so it's got some vegan meat alternatives in. It's really nice. It tastes like a beefy broth, maybe like a chicken soup. It's really good, especially when it's cold outside. It does help warm you up a lot, and it tastes so flavorful. I've got a cashew cream and a garlic cream, and these are meant to go inside the soup. The second thing I'm gonna try is sarmale. It's Romania's national dish, and it's cabbage rolls. So usually it's meat rolled in cabbage, but this is gonna be like a vegan meat, and it's served with some cashew cream and some, I don't know what that is, like some veg or something. Let's give it a try. Oh my god. That's amazing. I didn't expect it to have like a bit of spice to it. That's, I don't know, it tastes a bit like meatballs, weirdly. I've got my first Romanian banknote, which is 50 lei, which I think is about £9. I'm gonna use it to buy some souvenirs for when I go home, because I've never been to Romania, and I buy my family a magnet from every country that I go to. Got my magnet from a market stall on the Old Town. I've got myself a coffee to help wake me up and warm my hands up, because it's cold and I'm shattered with all these 3 AM starts for like the last 3 days in a row. Anyway, right now we're headed to a hotel, because apparently you can go on the roof and look over the whole of Cluj. You still have to climb up a lot of stairs to get up to this hotel, if I've gone the right way. Like, it's not a nice little walk, so it's still a little bit of a climb. Normally I'd have my drone, so I just throw my drone up, but one of the countries on the list I can't take my drone to, so I couldn't bring it at all. Okay, this is amazing. This view is incredible. I'm not even like all the way up yet. I'm not even at the top of the hotel, but this view looks sick. Apparently it's really good at night, as though I didn't really want to hang out in the cold weather to see. Here we are. Here is the Belvedere Hotel. We can get on the roof apparently, but this looks creepy as hell. It looks so weird. I don't know. It looks like it's derelict, but it's not. There's lights on. Looks like I'm about to be going into an abandoned hotel, which it's clearly not abandoned, but it doesn't look very welcoming. Struggling to find stairs up, but I find these stairs here. Let's go up and let's see where it leads. This might be where people live, I'm not sure. Oh, it's locked. Can't go up there. Oh, a nightmare finding the entrance here. I'll try around the other side. Well, I found the entrance, and even the entrance looks dead. It doesn't look like it's open at all. We're going up to the top floor. Hopefully there's stairs up to the top, but I'm not sure. Is spooky. It's actually kind of terrifying. Later on now, it's not as scary anymore. I have no idea how you get out onto the roof. Maybe you can't get onto the roof. I have no idea. This is the creepiest hotel I've ever been in. Obviously when the lights come on, it's fine, but when they're off, it is so creepy. Over here, just in the distance, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it that much on the GoPro, but it's CFR Cluj football stadium. I think they've been in European football quite recently. I think they beat Celtic in like the Europa League or Champions League. I can't remember, but that is the stadium right there, and they've got a game tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here. Would have been good to see. You can see now the lights are starting to come on in Cluj. It does look pretty. if you look, that is St. Michael's Church that we were in before. You can see the wheel next to it. I don't think that's on because it's not lit up and it's not moving. I don't know if that's like a Christmas thing. I have no idea. But this skyline does look really pretty. It is quite nice. I imagine when it's snowing in the winter, this looks unreal. This is a mad one, but Baptiste has just messaged me asking if I want to go rock climbing because we're talking about it on the coach to the airport. So of course I said yeah, and that's where we're gonna go now. We are ready to do a bit of rock climbing. Here's Baptiste. He's with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friends. I've got the smelliest shoes on ever. Rental shoes. Don't even get washed. There we go. Nice. I've just got back from rock climbing, which was sick. Some food, and the next place we're going tomorrow morning is Brussels for £28. See you in the morning. It is 4:14 and we're waiting for the Uber to the airport. I've got to check in at the airport because I didn't realise Wizz Air is 3 hours in advance, not 2 like Ryanair. And I'm probably going to get charged at the airport too. Let's go get an Uber. Craig. Are you okay?
Me?
Are you good?
A little bit tired to be honest, but...
Yeah, same. I've got a little bit of change left. It's not much, it's only 3. But
well, it's for, don't worry my friend, every goddamn level, it's fine for me, so...
Okay, thank you. Good to meet you, Kathleen.
You too, my friend.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah, I need to, because I'm dying.
I've had an absolute nightmare. I've got my ticket, cost me €50 to check in at the airport though. This is the first time I've ever had to pay to check in at the airport and it stung me big time. We have arrived in Brussels. We are in the Grand Place right now, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Started its formation in the 11th century and wasn't complete until the 17th century, meaning it took 600 years to build this square. This square is considered one of the nicest squares in the entire world, and I mean there's no reason why it isn't the nicest in the entire world. Look at every single building. Anyway, now that we've seen point of interest number 1, it's time to go get some food because I'm starving, and what better than a Belgian waffle. Messi. Got our Belgian waffle. Look how good it looks with all that chocolate on. I can't wait to try this, I'm starving. Hot. Oh, that beats the French crepe all day. Nice and crunchy on the inside and hot and doughy, gooey in the inside with that chocolate on. Oh, so good. Now we're going to do a bit of a city tour of Brussels because, to be honest with you, it's quite expensive here, and this way I can see a few of the sites for free. And the first thing we're going to be doing is looking for a family of peeing statues. That sounds strange, but I'll explain. So the family of peeing statues is a trio. There's a man, a girl and a dog, and right now we are at the dog. The dog's called Seneki. I'm probably butchering the name like I will do for the other 2 statues, but this is the first one. It doesn't actually pee. The other 2 are actually peeing. The second of the 3 family members of the peeing statues is the Gina K, which is the female. On a quick note, whilst we're on the way to do a statue, this is Tintin. And fun fact about Brussels, it's actually the comic book store capital of the world, apparently. They have more comic book stores than any other city in the world. Behind me now is the main statue, the mannequin piss. Now this statue is very famous here in Brussels. It's like the unofficial mascot of Brussels or Belgium. It was made in the 14th century, which actually makes it older than the state of Belgium itself by around 400 years. And the cool thing about this statue is that they dress it up for occasions like Christmas, Halloween, stuff like that. It has like 1,000 different fancy dress outfits to put on. Today has been so miserable in Belgium. Like, the weather has been awful. It's been worse than Paris. Paris at least stopped raining, but it's been raining here all day. It's raining quite heavy right now and I'm getting soaked. I've got both my bags on my back. Lovely, I've got a raincoat. Anyway, now that we've seen the statues, we're gonna go and try some authentic Belgian chocolate. I do like marzipan. I'd prefer one of these, I think. Maybe the hazelnut. The hazelnut sounds good, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, then I guess. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we've got our Belgian chocolate. I asked her to recommend 5, but she ended up recommending 4, and then I picked one because it was hazelnut and I really wanted to try it. It cost €4.50 for 5, which they are quite small, but it's Belgian chocolate, so that's what you expect. We're gonna try each one of these on camera and see what they're like. We're gonna start with this hazelnut one, the one that I picked. That's good. It's dark chocolate, but the chocolate's smooth and the hazelnut's nice. I think this is ginger, I'm not sure. She did put a ginger one in, but they all look the same. I don't think that's ginger. I think that's like a hazelnut mousse. That's really good, that. I'm not sure what this one is. We'll try it. It's ginger. I've just got the notes that taste like gingerbread a little bit, but a bit more raw, a bit spicy. And then the 4th one. But no idea what this is. It's good. No idea what it is though. Finally, I saved the best until last. This is the best seller, apparently. So, we're gonna try it. She didn't tell me what it is, she just said it's the best seller. Oh, it's crunchy on the outside and gooey on the inside. Oh, and it's got a nut on the inside of the goo. I think it's like a caramel or a toffee, it's like a fudge actually. Yeah, I think it's salted caramel fudge. That's amazing. Oh, there's like hints of like maybe like cherry. This is so like intense and dramatic. Like, it's so sophisticated for a piece of chocolate. There's multiple different flavors. That's probably why it's a bestseller, but it is really good. Final thing I'm going to show you then is the Royal Palace, which is behind me. Now, you can't go into here because it's actually closed during the winter and spring. It's only open in the summer. As you can see, there is restoration work going on right here. The thing that kind of sets this palace apart from most of the palaces in Europe is that it's only about 150 years old, and this palace is still active today. That's why it's only open during the summer. It is where the king meets all of like the representatives from around the world and has his day-to-day meetings, but they open it during the summer months to let the public have a look around. Although, unlike the King of England with a wealth of nearly £1 billion, the King of Belgium only has a wealth of around £10 million. I've just had some food and now it's time to head to the airport. It's 5:20. I'm gonna get there early and try and get a nice spot to sleep somewhere with a plug, because it's like £35 for a hostel. And after getting that €48 fine today for not checking in time, it stung me a little bit. Anyway, today I got from the airport to the city centre using a coach. It was €19 one way, but there's this app called BlaBlaCar, this one right here, and it's actually a lift sharing app. It costs like €6 for a seat from here to the airport, which is miles better, and also you're in a car, so it's probably much more comfortable than the coach. The way it works is strangers put up a seat in the car on the app because they're going to that place, and then you just like basically buy the seat. and then they'll message you and tell you where to meet them. And I'm going to bring you along for the experience. He's just sent me his location, so I'm going to walk down the road towards him. Just get the blood pumping again and get myself warm before I get in the car. Jude.
Yeah, I was coming to you because with the car it was just a mess.
Is it one way?
Come again?
Is the road just one way?
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm Craig.
Nice to meet you, I'm Jude.
You from Brussels?
No, I'm from France.
Oh, nice. Do you live here?
In the south, in Charleroi, actually.
Ah, okay. So, do you work here?
Yo, no, yes, kind of. I just I had to drop some other passengers.
Ah, okay.
And then when
And do you mind, I make YouTube videos, do you mind if I video? Yeah, it's okay.
Well, what's the subject of the video?
Travel.
Nice.
Just, can I put my stuff in the boot?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Thank you. Nice car.
Thanks. Yeah. Because I was for me it's a nice way to meet people, to share expenses too, and yeah, sometimes you meet travelers like you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so yeah, it's nice.
Obviously, the money aspect, like for me, this is €6 versus €19 on the coach. But then getting the experience of meeting people is cool as well.
Yeah, the same.
And like everyone's got a different story.
Yeah, true.
Everyone's got an interesting story to tell you. It's nice to do stuff like this. So currently this trip is the 7 cheapest flights every day for a week.
Okay.
So I started in Liverpool. I'm from Liverpool.
Okay.
Went to Dublin. The next day Paris.
The next day?
Yeah, the next day Paris. Then
okay, Dublin and Paris. Okay.
Right, and then
why not?
The day after Romania.
What?
I went to Cluj-Napoca, and then I arrived here today.
It's,
yeah, so it's like the cheapest flight every day.
Ah, okay, that's
for a week.
Okay.
We've stopped off to look at this monument. What's it called? Because I'm not going to be able to say it right.
Cinquantenaire, Parc du Cinquantenaire.
And it's this massive monument here. We drove the wrong way basically, and then decided to pull over and look at it because I haven't seen it.
Hello?
That was a really fun drive.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for showing me the stat, like the big thing. That was good. I'm glad I done this. It was well worth it, and if I get the chance to do it again, I'm definitely gonna do it. I have your number too if I'm ever in Brussels again.
With pleasure.
It was.
You just need to follow this path.
Yeah.
You know the one here. Just follow it. It will lead you to the airport. So.
Okay. Well, it was good to meet you.
Take care. Yeah.
Have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
And watch some Liverpool games, and come to Liverpool, visit Liverpool. See you later.
Bye.
That was such a good experience. I'm so glad I done this. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I knew that it would be okay, obviously, and I knew that it'd be fun, but like, we did not stop talking the entire way. There was not a bit of awkwardness. He showed me a big like arch, and he was like, oh, you have to visit. So we went. It was such a good experience. I can't recommend doing like something like that, like ride sharing with BlaBlaCar anymore. Honestly, if you have the chance, do it, because you meet so many interesting people. I'm definitely going to do something like this again in the future. I've arrived at the airport now, and I've got my little bed sorted for the night. Got a little like fleece blanket. It's not much, it's not really comfy, but it is warm. And then I've got some plugs, using my bag as a pillow, and then I've got my spare bag, water, shoes. I'm all sorted in like a little corner of the airport, across from the shops, which are closed, so it shouldn't be too noisy either. I best reveal where our next flight is before I go to sleep. Tomorrow morning we are headed to Tirana in Albania for £25. Now I'm going to try and get some sleep before I get up at like 5 AM. It's 5 AM, it's time to get up and go through security to go catch my flight that wasn't too bad of a sleep, to be honest with you. The floor's a bit hard and cold, but I slept mostly, even with the noise. I was like in and out of sleep, but it wasn't too bad. I would definitely probably do it again. We are through security and into duty free. This is probably the earliest I've ever been through security. We probably could have had an extra half an hour sleep, to be honest. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Thank you. Merci.
I'm going to bring you back to the terminal. We have another aircraft coming exactly 2 hours from now. That's the good news. We have an aircraft, replacement aircraft for you. But yeah, you will have to wait 2 hours in the terminal.
So our flight has been delayed for up to 2 hours until either a new part comes from London or the next flight arrives. So this is the first problem that we've had on our 7 days or 7 cheapest flights. The only benefit of the flight being delayed is we get a voucher, so I can get a coffee and a pretzel, although I did have to pay a little bit extra to get both of them because we only got €4. That's Ryanair for you. Back out onto the runway. Going to be the second attempt of boarding this plane to get to Tirana. Hopefully this time we actually get to Albania. And we've taken off this time, finally made it into Tirana. Here we go. We have finally touched down in Albania. The weather is still awful. I'm so glad I brought my GoPro to film all this and not my DSLR, because my DSLR would not have survived this week of rain. Right now though, we're heading to the hostel to get checked in because it's like 2 PM, so we can just throw our stuff in there, get a shower, and then head out and see what there is to explore in Tirana. It's 3 PM on a Sunday. The delayed flight has absolutely cost me 3 hours, so a lot of things are closing or already closed. We're going to see what we can do and where we can find food. I don't think we're going to be able to find a traditional Albanian food. I'm not sure how much we're going to get done. I'm fully taking the L on this one because of the flight delay, but I'm going to try and get as much done as possible. The first point of interest we've come to is Skanderbeg Square, which is named after the national hero of Albania, and I'm sure I've absolutely butchered his name, but he basically prevented the Ottoman expansion into Albania in like the 14th, 15th century, around that time, and was one of the lead figures in making the Albanian national identity a thing, and eventually leading to the formation of Albania as a country. This right here, with this mural, is the National Museum of Albania, but of course it is closed because it's a Sunday and it's also 4 PM, so we can't go in there. On the other side of that big tent though, there is a statue of Skanderbeg, so we're gonna go and look at it. Technically I could claim that as a point of interest too. It is the clock tower of the square, which is apparently a big touristy like landmark, but I'm not going to because it's in the square. You can kind of see it, it's part of it. And here's the statue of Skanderbeg, which I believe used to be a statue of Stalin right here, until they ripped it down and placed this statue of Skanderbeg on a horse here. The second point of interest is right behind me. It's a nuclear war bunker that is now a museum, dating back to the communist era of Albania, back when they used to have an alliance with the Soviet Union. Although never part of the Soviet Union, they were part of the Warsaw Pact, and also had a massive relationship with the Soviet Union, where that was probably helped to be built and funded by the Soviet Union. To be fair, this entire trip we've not been to a war museum. What museum would be better than a nuclear war bunker? Bunkard is made up of 2 museums, the first being a military museum and the second, the one we are in now, showing the role of the secret police, the Sigurimi, in maintaining the Stalinist state of Albania. It turns out the Warsaw Pact played no part in the construction of the bunkers, as Albania withdrew in 1968, and all these nuclear bunkers were constructed between 1981 and 1986. The bunkers were made to protect the elite police force and ministers, with Albania having over 170,000 bunkers, or around 5.7 bunkers per square kilometre. The Sigurimi were responsible for monitoring Albanian citizens and finding potential traitors to the state, which led to over 6,000 people being killed over 5 decades. Oh wow, it got dark quite quickly. I wasn't in there that long, maybe like 30 minutes or something, not even that long. but it's dark already. Anyway, this is the bunker's exit. This one looks a little bit more like stylish, but the other one looks like an actual bunker. One thing that I didn't expect when coming to Albania was that it'd be warmer than the other countries that I've been to in Western Europe and even Romania, but still it's been the warmest of the 5 countries so far. This big concrete pyramid behind me that's lit up is the pyramid of Tirana and point of interest number 3. Now, this pyramid originally was opened as a museum to honour the old communist leader Enver Hoxha, which I probably butchered his name, but it was opened by his daughter and eventually it was vandalised, and now it's been redone up as a conference centre which you can climb the stairs and go to the very top of. So what do you think we're going to do right now? We're going to go to the very top. I'll see you there. We are now at the very top of the pyramid. You can see out the view of Tirana here. It's not the best view, to be honest with you, but it's still a really nice view at night with all these buildings and the street lights lit up. So I have managed to get 3 points of interest whilst being here in Tirana, even though I didn't have long. It's a Sunday as well, everything closed early. But one thing I haven't done yet is try an actual Albanian piece of food. There are vegan food that you can have in Albania that is Albanian tradition, but I just haven't found any yet. So I've just spent like the last half an hour wandering in the streets trying to find a shop with traditional Albanian food, and I finally found one. This is burek. I think I'm pronouncing it right because it's spelled with a Y and a U depending where you go, but I think it's burek, and it's basically a pasty of sorts and you get it with different fillings. So this has spinach in, but you can get it with tomato, onion, meat, cheese. This is just spinach though. Kind of wish I got the tomato one. I didn't realise they had tomato until after I got this when I ate something else, but let's give it a try. What? Better than I thought it was going to be for a spinach pasty. I don't know if I'd ever get a spinach pasty again. I feel like tomato or onion would have been the way to go, but at least I'm eating something healthy, because I've not really ate the best this trip. I got another one. I got a tomato one because I feel like spinach definitely doesn't do burek's justice. We're going to try this one now. Hopefully it's better. It's a lot warmer. That is miles better. That is lovely. That is nice and warm and tomatoey. That is miles better than the spinach one. Recommend the tomato burek if you're in Albania. Avoid the spinach one unless you're really mad about spinach. You know what, given the fact that I was short on time, it's actually been a really nice day here in Albania. The people have been really nice. When I was in the restaurant having some soup before, I was speaking to 3 or 4 people, and when I've been walking the streets I've had 1 or 2 people say hello to me and just wave, and it's been really nice. I feel like I would have liked to have spent more time here, but it's starting to rain and I've got a flight in the morning, so I'm heading back to the hostel. It's only like 8:30. I've got my dark chocolate. I'm just gonna chill. But first I have to tell you where we're going tomorrow. We are going to Rome for £33. See you in the morning. We just got off the bus. We're in Rome city centre, and it's nice to have a little bit of sun because we've been drenched the last few days in rain and cold weather, so to have a little bit of sun is nice. I'm gonna head to the hostel and put my bag in, and then we're gonna do a little bit of exploring. I'm walking to get breakfast and I've stumbled across a water fountain. Now I've seen loads of videos on TikTok with these on how to drink it properly, so we're gonna give it a go. There's a trick to it, like a method. I'm gonna see if I can do it. So it's slippy, nearly fell. There's water there, and we have water in my shoes. So the trick is, you put pressure here and it comes out here and you drink it, and I'm going to get this all over me, but we're going to give it a go. I done it. I did not expect to actually be able to do it so well first time. I did get a little bit wet, but it was mostly perfect. So I've got myself some breakfast, got myself a nice coffee, and then 2 croissants. But I have to book the Colosseum because that's the first point of interest we're going to be going to. I need to get tickets now so I can skip the queues, because apparently the queues can be massive, although it is a Monday, so probably not, but just in case we'll book them online. So the Colosseum tickets are sold out online, but we're gonna take a walk to the Colosseum anyway and see if we can get some on the day, because they do have tickets for sale on the day. It just means waiting in the queue for like half an hour or an hour, whatever it is, but we're gonna do it. And if there's no tickets left, then we'll just see the outside. I literally put about 5 sugars in this iced coffee, so I should be bouncing for the next few hours with the little sleep that I've had. We're at the Coliseum. There she is, right behind me. I don't know where the entrance is. We're gonna walk around and try and find it, but I mean, I'm kind of just in awe of how magnificent it is. Like, this is like 2,000 years old or older, I think, and it's still like mostly intact and still standing. Colosseum is of course one of the 7 wonders of the world, and the first wonder that I've seen. It's like I'm gonna be waiting a long time. That's the queue start there for the ticket office. Goes all the way along here, right down here, and probably bends round. That queue is really long and I don't have much time here, so we're just gonna look at the outside and I'll eventually come back to Rome at some point. The Flavian Amphitheatre, originally named after Emperor Flavius, who built it, is a testament to human ingenuity that has stood the test of time. Taking roughly 10 years to build and holding up to 85,000 people. It truly is a great wonder of the world. If you come to the Colosseum, watch out for the bracelet trick. Someone's just tried it again. I always miss it on video because I've never filmed it at the time, but this guy threw it at me. So he didn't come up to me and try and put it on me, he threw it at me so I'd catch it, and if I'd have caught it, he probably would have tried to charge me. I just let it drop to the floor and walked away. So never ever catch the bracelet, never let it on your wrist, never touch it because they will charge you. It's nearly 2 p.m. and I'm getting a little bit hungry. So for the first time in like 2 years, I'm gonna get a Too Good To Go. Now Too Good To Go is an app where you can get highly discounted food because it's gonna be thrown away. The restaurant I'm ordering from is called Benti, and I think it's a vegetarian vegan place, so there's a chance that what I get is vegetarian, not vegan friendly. Hopefully it's all vegan friendly though, and it's €2. Apparently the original price was 6, so I'm saving €4. Probably isn't going to be a lot of food, but we'll see when we get it. I've got me Too Good To Go box. Should we see what it is inside? I'm hoping it's pasta. It could be anything. I think it's rice. Ah yeah, it's rice and lentils. We're going to enjoy this in front of the Colosseum. Are there many better places to have your dinner than in front of this? Next up, the Trevi Fountain. No, no thanks. I'm from England, but I don't want it, thank you. I'm sure, thank you. It's just happened again. I got some on video this time. We've made it to our second point of interest, the Trevi Fountain. Now it's tradition to throw a coin in the fountain to bring you good luck, love, fortune, whatever you want. You make a wish, you throw it in, so that's what we're going to be doing now. Now it's tradition to throw the coin over your shoulder backwards, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a few seconds, make a wish. Got it? 3, 2, 1. I hope your wish comes true. Now the truth is, throwing a coin into this fountain probably isn't going to bring you good luck or good fortune, but it does bring good fortune to some people, as every night the coins are collected and donated to local charities. So all the coins thrown in do go to a good cause. Now, are you okay?
On holiday?
Yeah, we're travelling. Not in Italy, but first time in Rome.
Yeah.
So I've been to Venice.
You've never been in Africa?
No, I've been to the Canary Islands,
Yes.
which is technically the continent of Africa, but never Africa.
Okay, one day come to Senegal. From Senegal.
Hopefully. I'm going to Morocco next month.
That's my present for you.
No, thank you.
No, I say why.
No, no,
Say why.
no.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay.
Nice people who look like Africa. I'm really happy for you.
No, I don't want it, but thank you. There's 2 things left to do whilst in Rome. The first is to check point of interest, and the second is to have a local food. Now the food is what we're going to do first because it's about 6 p.m. Italy is of course the home of pizza and pasta, so that is obviously what we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting the pasta, and one of the best ways to get pasta whilst in Italy is fast food pasta. Normally pasta in a restaurant is expensive, like €20, and takes probably 20-30 minutes to prepare. But if you go into a little side fast food pasta restaurant, you can get pasta within 3 to 4 minutes at the cost of about €7, and it tastes nearly as good as the restaurant versions. Hi, which pasta's vegan?
Tomato one.
Can I have that then, please?
Yeah.
I've just ordered my pasta, and as soon as I paid, I started a timer on my phone. We're going to see exactly how quick this pasta is to cook, and it cost, I think, €7. So I've got the pasta now. It took 5 minutes and 55 seconds for a big pot of pasta like this, and it only cost €6. You're not going to find pasta that's as good as Italian made pasta for that cheap anywhere else. I had cooked to perfection. It's just as good as restaurants, but a quarter of the price, and takes a quarter, if not less, time to cook. Just want to add, it took 6 minutes to cook the pasta, but did you see the size of the queue? It was massive. It was out the door, like round the wall, down that side. It was huge, and they still got it done in under 10 minutes. Now that we've finished the pasta, it is time to go to our third and final point of interest, and that is, of course, the Vatican City. Now, technically, we're no longer in Rome, we're no longer in Italy, because the Vatican City is its own country, and it is the smallest country in the entire world. It's about 15% of the size of Central Park in New York City. That's how small it is, and about 20% the size of Monaco, which is the second smallest country in the world. The parameters of this country are literally basically within this square. These pillars here are basically the border, the basilisk, those pillars, and then those buildings there. This square is literally the size of the entire country. It was actually Mussolini's government in 1929 that granted the Vatican City statehood. Before then, it wasn't an independent country until it was recognised in 1929. What I did miss out is the basilisk actually has a large grounds at the back of it, which is included in the country. Not a massive grounds, but it probably is about the same size as this square. So double this square is the size of the country. Now the Pope is the head of the Vatican City state, and he has full judicial powers over the entire state of Vatican City. Actually, that fence there is the border, not these buildings, so it's even smaller. What's mad is that all across Rome there's just these random archaeological sites that are slightly lower down than the actual street level, that are just pieces of history preserved. Not very well preserved, but preserved nonetheless.
I like it England because no black, no white. I people everybody.
That's cool.
I love it,
Liverpool.
and you're my brother.
Liverpool.
Take it for you.
No,
Don't give it.
no, thank you.
But this is my symbol.
No, no, thank you.
No, I don't give anybody. I give you praise on the for
Okay,
you.
okay, let go of me. Let go of me.
Take it for you.
No, let go of me. So I just had another run-in with a bracelet guy, but because it's night time, a little bit dark, and I was in a not so busy area, he decided that he'd grab me when I tried to walk away. So be careful for that, because if it's late at night, they might get a bit more risky and try to actually manhandle you a little bit. It's getting late now, so I'm heading back to the hostel. I've got to reveal the 7th and final place of this week of the cheapest flights. So the 7th place is Amman, Jordan, for £19. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it is 3:30 AM and I'm on my way to the bus station to get the bus to the airport to catch me last of the 7 flights.
Queue system provided. Please have your boarding pass and photo ID.
This might be the most dead flight I've been on since COVID, because there's about 20 people on the entire flight. Grazie. We've made it to Amman, Jordan. This is my first time in the Middle East, so this is kind of exciting. But we need to go and get a visa and get through security. We're through security, I've got my visa, but they did question me a little bit over my passport picture, because it was from when I was like, I don't know, like 19 or something, and now I've got long hair, a beard, and look not much like that at all. So I have to kind of explain to them that that was me. I've managed to make it to Amman city centre, but I've been absolutely stung today. First off, I had to get cash out of the airport, and I forgot my Revolut card at home, so I've been stung all week by charges on ATMs. I got charged £6 today, and then the bus was like £4, which was fine, but it didn't bring me to the city centre. It took me to the bus station on the outside, about 5 kilometres away, and then I had to get a taxi in, and I got charged £20 for the taxi for 5 kilometres. Like 10 minutes of driving, 15 minutes of driving, like it wasn't a lot of driving, and he charged me 20. I've just found out they do Uber here, and on the Uber app, the distance I travelled was like 3 jod, and I paid 16. So I paid more than 5 times what I should have paid, and it's annoying. It is really annoying to be stung as a tourist, especially when I know that these traps happen, and I just was caught off guard with the bus going like not to the city, and I kind of didn't know Uber existed here and stuff. But it is what it is. First things first, we're gonna grab some food, but like food to go, because we don't have time to stop and eat, and I have not eaten all day. It's 4 p.m. Obviously the time difference is like 3 hours, so really it's 1 p.m, but still I've had no breakfast, nothing, just a few nuts. The food I bought is just a falafel wrap, which is kind of cheating because falafel isn't Jordanian, but it is Middle Eastern, and Jordan makes some of the best falafel in the world. So I'm kind of cheating. This is such a simple sandwich. Like, it's not got much on. A little bit of veg, a little bit chili sauce and tahini, and then some falafel. Nothing more. It's not too much. But honestly, this is incredible. This is such a nice like falafel sandwich, and you see them making it fresh there in front of you, and he was making it quick as well. Hey, I'm not joking. That falafel wrap was one of the best falafel wraps I've ever had. It was so good. I'm going back for a second one because I'm starving, and it was 60p. You're not gonna find a better falafel wrap anywhere for 60p. I'm telling you that now. It's raining. Like, you couldn't write it. You couldn't make this up. Only I could have a week full of rain, get to the Middle East thinking, oh, I'm gonna have some sun, and actually get rain instead. That only happens to me. That doesn't happen to anybody else. Right, so the first point of interest, which I wasn't meant to be, but I was walking up this hill, and this old man told me to walk up and keep going, and you'll see something amazing. Obviously he didn't say it in English, but I got the gist. Look at that. It is a Roman amphitheatre built in probably the 2nd century AD, and it is built into the side of the hill. Like, how incredible is that? Like, how well preserved is that? You can go inside, of course, but who needs to go inside when you can see all of it from here, from this vantage point? And you know, you might think, looking at the Roman amphitheatre, that's probably the oldest thing in this city because the Romans are pretty old, but you'd be wrong, because this city is one of the oldest cities in the world, around 7,000 years old, and its oldest building is probably its citadel.
Boy,
Yeah.
boy.
Boy, and go left, up the stairs.
I can smell it here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. That was the guy I was telling you about. That old man was so nice. I think he actually waited for me to catch up to him after I'd done videoing and taking pictures of the Roman Colosseum. Not Colosseum, sorry, amphitheatre. I think he just waited there for me to catch up to him so he could show me where to go. We are in the citadel. Look at that, with the sky, with the sun setting behind it, and all the clouds, the thunderstorm rolling in. It looks unbelievable. Now, Amman has been ruled by dozens of empires throughout history. The Romans, the Byzantines, the Ottoman Empire, I think. So the ruins are a mixture of all of those empires and what they built, but the oldest archaeological sites date back to the Neolithic period, about 5,500 BC. So this is actually one of the oldest sites in the world, one of the oldest building sites in the entire world. This is actually a Roman temple, the Temple of Hercules, built to honour Hercules, the demigod in Roman mythology. The final part of the Amman citadel that we're visiting is the Umayyad Mosque, which is the most intact part of the entire archaeological site. It actually looks like you could still use it today as a mosque if you wanted to. It's so intact. there's a thunderstorm happening right through this door. I've just missed it then. Little there it is, right there. This is incredible. This is boss. This is such a, like, look at this. Look how cool this looks. In a mosque on top of a hill in Amman, and I'm just watching a thunderstorm. This is so cool. Should we go into the dark room? Let's do it. It's a bit spooky and very echoey. It's actually quite warm in here. It's starting to get a little bit dark now, and I'm hungry again, so we're gonna go and find some food. I got this incredible vegan shawarma, which was huge and nearly too big to finish, from a place called Bite Sarah, which is an independent restaurant that also has a local charity to help animals in the Amman area. I've had an absolute stinker. I went back to the hostel and I fell asleep for like an hour, so the third and final point of interest I wanted to go to actually closed, but it is a mosque, so there's mosques everywhere in Amman, and this one is supposedly a 24-hour mosque. Doesn't look as good. I mean, it looks amazing, but it doesn't look as good as the one I wanted to go to. But the reason that this is a point of interest is because I've never been to a mosque before, and obviously mosques and Islam is a massive part of the culture here. So I've been to churches and cathedrals all over the world, but never a mosque. That's what we're going to be doing. That is the final point of interest. If it's open, we're going to be going in. Unfortunately, it looks like it's closed, and it was the only 24-hour mosque on Google Maps that I could find. So it looks like we're not going to be going into the Abu Dawish Mosque or into any mosque on this video, because it is 11 PM. I am shattered and I need to go to sleep, because tomorrow I am once again up at 5 AM. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video, comment on the video, share the video into your group chat of friends, and subscribe if you're not already. And here from Amman, remember, keep exploring.